Diddy, along with other Hollywood elites, is being linked to the ongoing wildfires in LA, sparking widespread speculation among fans. Many have pointed out how Diddy's house appears to have been completely untouched by the fires, raising eyebrows and fueling conspiracy theories. The question on everyone's mind is whether Diddy was involved in some sort of cover-up surrounding the fires in LA. What could his connection be to government officials, and how does this all tie into the larger mystery? These questions have left fans wondering if there's more to the story than meets the eye.
Sean Diddy Combs' Los Angeles mansion has been spared from the rampant flames engulfing the ritzy neighborhoods where several high-profile celebrities live. The flames have left 24 Californians dead, decimated 40,300 acres of land, and wrecked more than 12,300 structures. But the disgraced rapper's 17,000 square foot home, closely located to the chaos, has remained unscathed. The lavish house in Holmby Hills sits just outside of the Palisades fire's path, but has not been damaged by the disaster. Many celebrities who live in or near the Pacific Palisades area have been forced out of the neighborhoods. Anthony Hopkins, Paris Hilton, and John Goodman are just among the stars whose stunning mansions have been reduced to ash and rubble. As LA continues to battle these fires, Combs sits in his jail cell at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center as he awaits trial. He faces a slew of charges including trafficking, racketeering, and conspiracy. Some have even made baseless claims that the fires may have been started to cover up Diddy's alleged sex crimes and protect any allies he may have left.
I think for the industry, times of crisis have always been good for the entertainment industry. Not that I'm saying any crisis is good, no, but I think people want, they want to be entertained during those times, and they like escapism and just things for pure entertainment.
In the aftermath of the wildfires in LA, reports and video footage have surfaced showing how some individuals were deliberately setting fires, allegedly involved in arson. There are even claims that these individuals were handed over to the police, yet strangely, the police have refused to charge them. Actor and director Mel Gibson has weighed in, suggesting that the situation feels pre-planned. He points to the fact that funding for firefighters was reduced, and there was no water in fire hydrants during the crisis. Now, even the suspects caught on tape setting the fires aren't being charged, but instead are being let go. With so many people losing their homes and lives in this devastating fire, many are left wondering why a real investigation isn't being conducted into these troubling circumstances.
A third arrest that is coming. There's 2 that's already down. The world is going to crumble when they see this next arrest. In the meantime, there's going to be deaths, distractions, and fires to hide evidence. Watch for it, ask questions, demand answers.
And apparently the residents in Corral Canyon caught an arsonist up there. And the guy was all tooled up with fire gear and equipment and stuff like that, ready to go. And he had been lighting fires. But they corralled the guy in Corral Canyon and gave him to the police. So
yeah, apparently
there are people actively going around looking for these conditions. Yeah,
apparently, Mel, that individual was never charged. It's a very confusing set of facts because apparently he was reportedly trying to light things on fire, but it's not the fires. I guess that they. I mean, it all seems very bizarre. But they have not ruled out that arson could have started the first fire. There's obviously still investigating this, and at the same time, Mel, there are numerous complaints, as you alluded to, that the fire hydrants did not have water or water pressure, and the LA fire chief herself reacted. Watch this.
My stance on this is when a firefighter comes up to a hydrant, we expect there's going to be water. We don't control the water supply. Our firefighters are there to protect lives and property and to make sure that we're properly trained and equipped. That's my position on this. So if there's no water, I don't know how the water gets to the hydrants.
Mel, reaction to that?
Well, I know they were messing with the water, letting reserves go for one reason or another. They've been doing that a while. California has a lot of problems that sort of baffle the mind as far as why they do things. And then in the events like this, you sort of look, oh, is it on purpose? Which, it's an insane thing to think. But one begins to ponder whether or not there is a purpose in mind. What could it be, you know? I don't know. Do they want the state empty? I don't know.
Well, Mel, there's already talk, and we played a couple of sound bites of reimagining the way rebuilding occurs. And obviously there's a great need for high-density housing in California and across the country. That's a big push by the climate folks. And you're already hearing rumblings of that. In this case, like goodbye single-family homes, hello high-density housing.
Yeah. It's pretty scary, and it'll take decades to do that too. It's like even if it, you know, if it's a good idea, which I don't know if it is, but reminds me of the old cattle barons clearing people off the land, you know. But I don't know. I can make all kinds of horrible theories up in my head, conspiracy theories and everything else, but it just seemed a little convenient that there was no water, and and that the wind conditions were right, and that there are people ready and willing and able to start fires. And are they commissioned to do so, or are they just acting on their own volition? I don't know. But they seem pretty well equipped, some of these people that they're catching.
A lot of questions.
Firefighters have been warning for years about the possibility of a disaster like this, but with everything that's unfolding, it now seems like this could be a case of arson. What's even more concerning is the prediction made by Allie Carter, one of Diddy's victims, who months ago forecasted that a wildfire would occur. This brings back memories of the last wildfire in LA, when Oprah's house was mysteriously left untouched, while every other house in the region was burned to the ground. Could this really be just a coincidence? It seems strange that every time there's a wildfire, the mansions of Hollywood elites are somehow spared, while the homes of ordinary people are destroyed. The pattern is raising even more questions about what's truly going on behind these fires.
I felt like it could fall apart at any moment. It was always like, I was always waiting for the next earthquake or the next fire. I was evacuated 3 times from my house from fires. Yeah. Last one, 2 houses in front of my house burnt to the ground. Right in front of my house.
What the f?
Yeah, the wildfires were crazy.
Yeah, it's scary, right?
Scary. When you see them coming, you know, I came home from the Comedy Store, and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. And me and my wife were looking out the window at the fire coming over the hill. And we made an early call. We said, look, if we're wrong, we'll come back. The house is still here. But let's just get the out of here now. I'm like, that's too close. They weren't evacuating yet. I'm like, let's get out of here. And so we got all of our shit, and we got a hotel in Beverly Hills. And then next thing you know, it swept through our neighborhood.
That's horrible.
It burnt 40 houses in my neighborhood.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, it's crazy. It was weird, man. And when you see the walls of flame that are from the left to the right, everywhere you can see is flames. You see houses going up. It's spooky, man. It's spooky like a horror movie. I talked to a fireman once. He was telling me, he goes, dude, one day, he goes, it's just going to be the right wind, and the fire's going to start in the right place, and it's going to burn through LA all the way to the ocean, and there's not a thing we can do about it. I go, really? He goes, yeah, we just get lucky. He goes, we get lucky with the wind. He goes, but if the wind hits the wrong way, it's just going to burn straight through LA, and there's not going to be a thing we can do about it. Because these fires are so big, dude. When they're talking about like thousands of acres that are burning simultaneously with like 40-mile-an-hour winds. And the wind's just blowing embers through the air, and those embers are landing on roofs, and those houses are going up, and they're landing on bushes, and those bushes are going up, and everything's dry. And once it happens in a way where it's so spread out that there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do.
You just have to evacuate, right?
Nothing.
Let's not forget that California had refused to file a case against Diddy for decades, despite rumors swirling about his involvement in various illegal operations. Diddy even talked about these allegations openly on live TV, but somehow no one could touch him. It wasn't until the Southern District of New York filed a lawsuit against him that the feds finally raided his mansion in Miami. To add to the intrigue, the mayor of New York, who was best friends with Diddy, had even handed him a key to the city just weeks before the lawsuit was filed. Was this just a coincidence, or was Diddy using his relationship with Mayor Adams to bolster his public image right before the arrest? The timing of everything seems too perfect to ignore.
Criminal activity in those, they could bring them in. Now, did the Federal Bureau of Investigation in Miami do it? No, they didn't. Did California do it? No, they did not. The Southern District of New York, they took it upon themselves and put on that raid and everything based on the information they found in Cassie lawsuit and the information they found in Little Rod lawsuit. But all this is bigger than Diddy. It's bigger than Diddy, bro. Cause you know who else they was doing investigation on during that whole time period? It was the mayor and the politicians in New York City. They turn around and give him the key to the city. All the mayor people that he brought on here in New York City are all resigning. They all resigning. People ain't gonna tie this together, but if you look at it, you have to say, because of Mayor Adams and his relationship with Diddy, it brought on the Southern District of New York to start investigating Diddy on civil lawsuits that was put against him. Because the feds is going after all these politicians in New York City.
Yeah, the feds revealed that, anybody that, participated in any, criminal behavior at his freak off, they're gonna pursue.
Listen here. The mayor here take like 15 spoons of sugar in his coffee. So it's all a possibility.
Do you think there's any celebrities on them tapes?
Bro, he gave celebrity parties. So what you think?
This is the view from an airplane from KTLA photographer Paul Sanchez as he's giving us an aerial perspective to the devastation in the Palisades. Sky 5 unable to fly due to a temporary flight restriction put in.
I know you lost a friend. I did lose a friend, and for our church, it's really tender, so I don't feel like I should talk about her yet. But I did lose a friend who did not get out in time, and
shelters and to help with social emotional and to make sure that to work with hand in hand with the Red Cross to make sure that shelters are set up for little babies and moms and kids and fathers. And
Jennifer Lopez's latest effort to raise donations for the Red Cross amid the raging Los Angeles wildfires has sparked a heated discussion, but not entirely for the right reasons. While J.Lo is encouraging her fans to contribute, Jennifer Garner has been seen on the front lines, personally assisting victims and first responders. Adding fuel to the fire, rumors suggest that Ben Affleck isn't thrilled with his ex-wife's approach, especially when compared to Garner's hands-on efforts. This contrast has led many to question whether J.Lo's actions are a genuine attempt to give back or just another PR move to polish her image. The courts indicate that J.Lo has canceled all her upcoming appearances, including interviews on The View, Live with Kelly and Mark, and The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, to focus on raising awareness and aid for the wildfire victims. According to a source close to the actress, she feels it's crucial to support the Los Angeles community during this challenging time. However, this seemingly noble gesture has drawn criticism. J.Lo has shared donation links, asking her fans, many of whom are regular working-class people, to contribute. Critics have been quick to highlight that as a multimillionaire, J.Lo has the resources to make a significant impact without asking others to bear the financial burden. She teases on The Good Place story. The situation bears a resemblance to the backlash Oprah Winfrey and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson faced during the 2023 Maui fires, when they asked the public to donate to a relief fund despite their own immense wealth. Much like that scenario, people are now questioning why billionaires and multimillionaires with vast financial resources feel the need to seek contributions from those far less fortunate. Critics argue that these public figures could easily fund these efforts themselves, rather than placing the burden on everyday people who may already be struggling financially.
Person who called me and said, "What can I do?" This is what you can do. The People's Fund of Maui.
On the surface, J-Lo's initiative might seem like a noble gesture, but many aren't convinced. Critics argue that Jennifer Lopez isn't exactly known for her generosity, and it appears not everyone is buying her newfound charitable focus. Adding to the skepticism, sources suggest that Ben Affleck, who finalized his tumultuous divorce from J-Lo earlier this month, isn't convinced either. Reports claim that Ben believes J-Lo's public campaign for donations is more about drawing attention to herself than about genuine concern for the wildfire victims. Insiders close to the actor suggest he sees this as an attempt to divert attention from the wave of negative press J-Lo has been facing recently. Meanwhile, Ben, who has been navigating personal challenges in co-parenting with his ex-wife Jennifer Garner, might find it hard to view J-Lo's efforts as purely altruistic. After all, their relationship has been riddled with drama, and it's no secret that their split didn't end on the best terms. To complicate matters further, Jennifer Garner has been spotted physically assisting in the community, lending a helping hand to those directly impacted by the fires. Her on-the-ground efforts stand in stark contrast to J-Lo's high-profile campaign, further fueling the debate about who's truly stepping up during this crisis.
Have to try to slow it down and also just really emotionally support the kids who lost their school, their home, their church, their playground, our little playground down here, just the community. We've got to really do some social emotional.
Unlike J-Lo, who has been sharing donation links from the comfort of her luxury mansion, Jennifer Garner has taken a hands-on approach. Garner was spotted volunteering with World Central Kitchen, a nonprofit organization founded by renowned chef Jose Andres. Her efforts weren't just for show. She didn't simply drop by for a quick photo op. Instead, she was actively distributing meals to first responders and families affected by the fires, demonstrating a genuine commitment to helping those in need.
And she lives in Palisades for many years, and I think you recognize her, Carrie. And she lives in Brentwood, and she came today to see the place where she has spent so many years and where she has so many friends.
During an interview with Katie Cook, Jennifer Garner humbly downplayed her involvement, saying, 0% of it is about me because I have my home and I am safe. She spoke about the shocking devastation she witnessed firsthand and emphasized how the community hasn't even begun to process the scale of the tragedy. This humility has only added to the praise Garner is receiving, especially when compared to J-Lo's more detached approach to the crisis. To make matters even more awkward, reports suggest that Ben Affleck didn't stay at J-Lo's $2 million mansion when the wildfires began to rage. Instead, he reportedly sought refuge at his ex-wife Jennifer Garner's nearby home. According to TMZ, Affleck was evacuated from his Pacific Palisades residence and headed to Garner's house in Brentwood, further highlighting the stark contrast in how the two women have approached the disaster. It's unclear whether Ben Affleck headed to Jennifer Garner's home purely for safety or to check on their 3 children, but one thing is certain, this move didn't exactly help J-Lo's image. It only adds to the growing skepticism about her recent acts of charity. People are questioning the sincerity of her efforts, and the drama surrounding her former assistant Jilly doesn't help. Jilly, who made headlines in 2013 when she left her job as J-Lo's assistant to work for Mariah Carey, allegedly quit due to some serious issues within J-Lo's household. According to inside sources, J-Lo's then-boyfriend Casper Smart had too much control over the staff and reportedly demanded everyone call him Mr. Smart. He even went so far as to order Jilly around, making her fetch drinks for him like a personal servant. The most shocking part? J-Lo never intervened to stop this behavior. This kind of drama only adds to the perception that J-Lo may be more focused on her public image than on genuine, selfless acts of charity. Instead of stepping in, J-Lo seemingly allowed this behavior to continue, leading many to question her sense of professionalism and basic respect for her employees. Letting someone disrespect your staff in such a way doesn't scream kindness, it screams entitlement.
All of a sudden we were told the next guest is on her way. It's Jennifer Lopez. You guys need to clear the room. Everybody needs to... And suddenly there was an instant panic. And again, I've been to doing a lot of talk shows in the green room with a lot of actors, and I'd never had that experience.
But the issues didn't stop with her assistant. J.Lo also managed to alienate some of her most loyal collaborators, like Scott Barnes, her longtime makeup artist.